I'm David Hall. I've been coming to Maranatha for just under 2 months now. So when I was growing up, starting out in Florida, it was probably when my family was like most involved in the church. It's the only time I have real memories of us going. I was very interested in it at a young age. I know that for many different reasons. Part of it was like jealousy of my brother when he got saved. I was like, I need to do that too. We moved to Ohio, I want to say, when I was 8 or 9 years old. Around that time, shortly after my grandma passed away, I think that was maybe a year later. And that's when I kind of started losing faith, and I just started causing problems between my parents and my siblings. There was constant arguing and fighting. And then as time went on in middle school, things just kept getting worse. I was acting out. I was extremely depressed and angry and confused on what was going on. My parents, they always homeschooled us up until middle school. They were always trying to protect us and kind of keep us a little bit sheltered. But I convinced them after years of trying to go to let me go to high school for my freshman year of high school. I did have a lot more success in. I was able to make a lot more friends and make better relationships. But I also started getting introduced into drugs and drinking. And during this time I was getting like further and further away from everything. I was getting even worse with the arguing with my family. At the same time, I still had family that was constantly trying to get me to come back to religion. I remember times where my grandfather and my grandma would invite me over, and like I would spend a weekend down there. I had started asking more questions and kept sort of kind of looking into it, but I'd only maybe read the Bible for one chapter, put it down for a month, and ignore it again and leave it at that. Shortly after that, I don't know what changed my mind. I really couldn't tell you. I just had something flip, and I want to know more. I was at one of my lower points emotionally, and something now I know God told me, you need to call your cousin Jason. And I called him at like 10 o'clock at night and just started asking him a lot of questions. But he just started explaining to me what it was like, and that I had this confused take on it where I thought Christians lived in honestly just an easy life of, oh, I believe and I'm done. And it didn't make any sense to me. And he took the time to explain to me what Christianity is, what faith is, how it is the hardest lifestyle to live, because it's, you know, by choice living for God and choosing Him over everything else. It took me maybe 2 weeks after having that conversation with him and reading. I read through John, and then I read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And after that, I decided, I was like, all right, this makes sense. And I think the real thing that really like pushed it to me was when I read through John, watching how like the different men, like these, you know, they were strong men, dropped everything, dropped their pride, dropped their careers, and they followed him. So when I think of conversion, I don't think there's any one thing like a person can do. For years, my family, specifically my grandparents and my uncle and my cousin, tried to get through to me, and the only way was through the Word. And I didn't know that it was happening. I didn't know that God was leaving little pebbles in my head of, you're going to remember this one day, you're going to remember this one day. And then one day, because like he chose me, I know that, because I did not one day wake up and myself go, this makes sense now. I couldn't have done that. I was against it because I was selfish and prideful, and I didn't want to admit that, oh, this could all be my fault. When I first came, and even now, I still struggle and go, this can't be possible. I can't be saved. It's not how. I'm horrible. I've done so many things in my past where I just go, I can't believe that's who I used to be. But when you read, you just see he's forgiving, and through him it's possible. You're right, it's right that you don't deserve to go there. There's nothing you can do to make you deserve to go there. There's nothing. You can't do anything. All you can do is trust him and have faith in him that he's gonna save you. He's gonna protect you, and you are gonna stay with him for eternity. If I had one thing to say, and I'm talking to my younger self or anyone else who grew up like me, the way you're living right now, no matter how much you think is because of other people and other things, it's for you. No matter how hard things were, anything you're doing right now that isn't glorifying God is for you. And when it's for you, it's not good, no matter how good you think it might be, no matter how much you think it's making you happy. There's only one way to start getting true happiness, and that is living for God. When you live for yourself, everything is undetermined. At the very least, I can guarantee you, when you live for God, that you have one guaranteed outcome, and that's eternity with God. I'm David Hall, and that's my story of grace.